once you reach a certain age or you have kids, you can't sit there and like demand the same quality of man anymore. What if I walked around and I was like, yo, I want a bad bitch. Bad bitches need to like me even though I'm a fat slob. Yeah, like, hey, take me as I am. Like, just accept me for being a fat slob. 29, you have a child, you can't demand certain caliber of men anymore, unfortunately. So then you got two options. It's either I'm going to lower my standards and live in reality of what I can actually attract, I can write a check that I can actually cash, or you're going to stay single. What do you want to do?
Marrying a single mom is like buying a high-mileage used car with a history of expensive problems and comes with passengers you can't put out. I'd rather walk than buy a car like that. The keyword single mothers means a man indeed said yes.
I literally just got divorced. I'm done. I don't ever have to see him again. That was so hard. That was so painful. I couldn't look at him. I couldn't say hi. I couldn't say bye. I just walked away. The person that I loved the most in this entire world. The person I loved most in this entire world, you know? That was it. That's how the story ends. I loved him with everything that I was. And now it's done. Oh God, I'm fucking broken, man. I fucking hurt. I kept it together until the end. But I did that shit.
Why do women film their crying breakdowns and put it on social media? Can anyone explain this? Is it for clickbait and views because people feel sorry? Is that it? Why do women think this is a good idea?
All the sexual power that women have when they're young falls off a cliff in extraordinary rapidity. Now, here's the thing, though, is that when we're young and we have less sexual market value than women, supply and demand, hormones and receptivity, we can screw up for a while, and I'm sure everyone has, I know I have, but then you can recover, right? So, you know, I went to theater school. I got a history degree because I'm all about the earning, right? But then I was like, wake up, dude. And I went and started a software company. So you can shake it off and you can turn things around. If a woman takes full advantage of that sexual magnetism of youth and, you know, hoingo boingos around the community, then by the time she hits her late 30s, it's too late. And then you get like a half century of regret. And one of my biggest tweets was me just saying, women, your eggs die at 40, you live to 80. What are you going to do for 40 years?
Men used to die in conflict with less pain and suffering, at least in the past. Nowadays, a man is in a much worse predicament than a man who perishes in battle if he gets divorced and loses his home, kids, wife, sense of purpose, respect, and self-esteem.
You think that having a kid helps or hurts your dating life at 30?
I mean, they wanted me when I was pregnant, so I don't know. I have a little girl, I don't know.
But do you think they wanted you to commit, or they just wanted to, you know, have fun with you?
I think definitely a lot of guys go for girls who have kids because they think that most girls who have kids, they don't value themselves. They think that, oh, this guy doesn't have a kid, I have a kid, so I gotta like put up a shit.
Were you married to your baby father?
Yes.
Are you looking to get remarried?
No. Hell no. You know how many married men I have in my DMs? Never. Never. I'm not doing it.
How soon would you let your new man meet your daughter?
Oh my gosh, never. I don't ever. I have, you know, this is a scary world as a girl mom. I've had men be like, oh, your daughter's so beautiful. Like, I can just picture myself with you and your daughter. I don't know. If my kid's asleep and they try, oh, your kid's asleep, can I slide through? No, it's a no. If my kid's there, you're not sliding through.
Women merely want us to fall for the trap and engage in a rigged game of love is our battlefield with them. Women gain power by portraying weakness because it motivates males to step up, get involved, and take care of them.
Have you heard about Morgan Stanley study that about 40% of women will be single by 2030? It's crazy. Well, I did some research and I wanted to share some of the reasons why this might be the case. Let me break it down for you.
You'll see one article that says, single childless women are the most happy demographic. And then 2 months later, there'll be another one. Single childless women are more miserable than ever. It's always this back and forth. It's like these conflicting messages. And the reason why it's so confusing and conflicting is because happiness is an emotion. And happiness is the one we focus on the most because we think we have this idea that we can just, if we could just find this perfect balance of like self-help self-help books and healing and therapy and all this other stuff that we're going to find some permanent solution to living a permanently 100% content life. And the fact of the matter is that the human condition is defined by discontent, not by content. And that's a good thing. That's a feature, not a bug. Because God forbid, because if we were all content all the time, we would not grow. We wouldn't want more. We wouldn't build more. We wouldn't do more.
If you expect someone to make you happy, you will never be happy. Narcissists are never happy because they blame others for their bad choices instead of taking responsibility for their own decisions.
I'm drunk, but it's my birthday and I just felt like I needed to get that out there. Don't fucking have kids. I love you so much and do what's best for you. Don't have kids.
That one is coping hard. It's sad. Drunk TikToking
on your birthday about not having kids.
She is upset that her friends have kids and don't have time for her anymore. So she spent her birthday alone ranting instead of spending quality time with the family she never had.
Who has 3/4 of the debt?
Who else? What?
Who has 3/4 of the debt
In the U.S.
Of the debt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Despite making less money than the opposite gender.
I have no clue.
It's women. Who's 80% of the consumer base?
Okay, I guess women.
Thank you.
But, okay,
There's
but
a reason
what
why.
I'm saying
Hold on.
is-
You see, I'm not just, this isn't coming from a place of anger or misogyny or me talking. It's facts. Advertisers target women because women are more impressionable and they're easier to control. Women are group thinkers. They're more involved with, being social. They're followers. Okay. You look at a fashion trend, you look at a hairstyle. When Rihanna cut her hair back in 2008, every other girl decided to cut their hair. Fashion trends, typically women follow them. So women are easier to sell to and advertise to. And this is why advertisers target women and not necessarily men. They're more likely to make bad decisions on emotion, which can lead to the destruction of the relationship.
Yeah.
Women make bad financial and life decisions based on emotions. They're the perfect target audience for advertisers. Facts. Many women live above their means and expect men to share the financial burden.
Them all the time. You know, the first lie is there's nothing more important than your career, more or less by definition. So that's the first lie. The second lie is there will be nothing more important to you in your life than your career. And so that's the second lie. And then the third lie is there should be nothing more important in your life than your career. So that's the third lie. And then implicit in that is the idea that children are a burden, and that the idea that women should have children is part of the oppressive patriarchy and should be resisted. And who are men to tell me what I can do with my body? And hey, fair enough. And et cetera, et cetera. And I've also watched what happens to women who hit 29 or 30 and then can't conceive. And that is not fate I would wish on anyone. It's awful. And 30% of couples fall into that. 30% of couples have difficulty conceiving. It's a lot. And the probability.
Modern women are so self-absorbed and naive that they will blow up the family, ruin the inheritance, and run with the money because they are driven to make bad choices for everyone.
Every girl's walking through life thinking they're going to win the lottery and date this top 1% man. He has to be over 6 foot. He has to make over 70K. He has to be attractive. He has to be what?
You kind of
but see, this is here. Wait. This is the problem. That sounds nice. It sounds nice and it's possible, but it's not probable. It's probably not going to happen.
Not for every woman.
So I'll tell you another stat. Okay, so big banks are investing in things like cat food, wine, because 50% of women are projected to be single and childless over 30. So that means all the girls in this room, half of us will never have kids. And it's also like if you don't get married by 35, your odds of getting married and having a long, stable relationship ever, it's very low.
Truth is, women will need to realize and study facts along with some history to figure out why this is such a shocking statistic. It tells them of an impending disaster that's going to cause a lot of stress and distress to younger females as they reach their late 20s and 30s.
I'm not going to chase you. I'm not going to sit here and prove my worth. I'm not going to try to manipulate you to believe that I'm better than anybody else. I know that I am. I know that I'm the prize. And it's not in an egotistical way. It's just, I know what I've been through, I know what I've healed, and I know what my value is. If you come into my life, that's a blessing. If I allow you the opportunity to see parts of me that I don't show everybody, that's a blessing. If I want you to be a part of my life, it's for a reason. I don't just sit here and talk to anybody. I don't waste my time because my time is precious. If you are of value to me, I would hope to be of value to you. And if not, just let me know and we don't have to waste each other's time.
If you are single and you are in the dating marketplace at that time, when that happens, say you're 37, 36, 38, 40, whatever it may be, and you are still on the hunt for that man, and you hit the wall and you can see in your face that you are no longer the face that you were at whether it was 30 or 35 or 25, whatever it is, you are going to be panicked. Because now you know that you are going to compete with women who are younger, who are largely more fertile, not always, but largely speaking, yes, who have that youthfulness to them, who have that estrogen, progesterone, whatever the hormonal balance is that makes someone young, it's there and you're losing it. And you become hyper aware of that. And that is why women begin to panic.
When a big chunk of the female population is fed the feminist juice that tells them to pursue their careers instead of starting families, that large population of females is suddenly going to realize in their 30s and 40s how they don't have the luxury of finding the type of guys they want anymore. That's just going to be painful, and I hope, collectively, we are able to withstand that storm.
And that's the thing, like, women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kid.
That's the total and undeniable truth women don't understand today. Thank you, Pearl.
Single mothers are recreational use only. You don't marry those women. That's a bad move for you as a man.
Why? Because of the baggage? Because of the kids? Because of the just...
There's far too much risk. Well, we already know that marriage is terrible for men in general. You get marrying a single mother, now you're bringing kids into the equation that you're going to have to provide and protect for that aren't your own seed. And if that woman breaks up with you, now you're going to get hit with a double whammy of you lose her and the kids that you built an attachment with.
Is that the biggest L you can take?
It's going to be...
What's the worst L you can take?
Marrying a single mom is very bad. As a man, it is not in your best interest to marry a single mother. I know a bunch of people, oh my God, that's so bad. The reality is when you look at it from a logical perspective, you take on way too much risk because now you might lose that woman. And then on top of that, every kid that you build an attachment with, and here's the other part, you have no legal rights to those children because they're not yours.
Yes, kids are baggage. Yes, being divorced is baggage. And yes, body count is baggage. Does she not realize that the older a woman gets, the less entitled she should be? Somehow older women think they are entitled to more. Why would a man want to raise another man's kid and deal with the hassle that comes with it?
Once you reach a certain age or you have kids, you can't sit there and like demand the same quality of man anymore. If I walked around and I was like, yo, I want a bad bitch. Bad bitches need to like me even though I'm a fat slob. Like, take me as I am. Like, just accept me for being a fat slob. 29, you have a child, you can't demand certain caliber of men anymore, unfortunately. So then you got two options. It's either I'm going to lower my standards and live in reality of what I can actually attract, I can write a check that I can actually cash, or you're going to stay single. What do you want to do?
Marrying a single mom is like buying a high-mileage used car with a history of expensive problems and comes with passengers you can't put out. I'd rather walk than buy a car like that. The keyword single mothers means a man indeed said yes.
When I got divorced, it was difficult to imagine what my life would look like.
I don't look at my dating life as a failure. I also don't look at my 10-year marriage ending as a failure.
When my husband left, there was an immediate sense of relief. I want to take a moment and read this comment. All I heard was, blah, blah, blah. I left my husband because my happiness was more important than my kids' well-being, and I'm a selfish person and a miserable wife. I'm 38, I'm single. That's by choice because I left my 10-year marriage because I experienced a lot of psychological abuse. First dates are just supposed to be a vibe check. Are you actually attracted to the other person? Is there some chemistry? Can you have fun together? I'm 38 and single, and I would never go on a walk or a hike date for a first date. I have done full background checks on men before first dates. I only date great men, and I only have positive experiences while dating. Positive experiences. I dated this guy and we were having like kind of the exclusivity talk, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm gonna delete my dating apps. And he's like, yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep mine. I did it again. I begged a mediocre man to love me when he obviously did not have the emotional capacity to do so. And what's so frustrating is that I have to learn this lesson over and over and over.
I feel like women nowadays just want a lifelong financial arrangement from a man who they can complain about till the end of times. Throughout history, the genes of women who were more effective in influencing men have been passed on to the next generations.
Single mothers are recreational use only. You don't marry those women. That's a bad move for you as a man.
Why? Because of the baggage, because of the kids, because of the just...
There's far too much risk. Well, we already know that marriage is terrible for men in general. You get marrying a single mother, now you're bringing kids into the equation that you're going to have to provide and protect for that aren't your own seed. And if that woman breaks up with you, now you're going to get hit with a double whammy of you lose her and the kids that you built an attachment
Is
with.
that the biggest L you can take?
It's going to be...
What's the worst L you can take?
Marrying a single mom is very bad. As a man, it is not in your best interest to marry a single mother. I know a bunch of people, oh my God, that's so bad. The reality is when you look at it from a logical perspective, you take on way too much risk because now you might lose that woman. And then on top of that, every kid that you build an attachment with, and here's the other part, you have no legal rights to those children because they're not yours.
Yes, kids are baggage. Yes, being divorced is baggage, and yes, body count is baggage. Does she not realize that the older a woman gets, the less entitled she should be? Somehow older women think they are entitled to more. Why would a man want to raise another man's kid and deal with the hassle that comes with it? Thanks for watching Male Imperium. Please show us your love by subscribing to the channel using the bell icon. We're also up for debate and some healthy banter, so don't forget to comment under the video.